The new year is off and running, but December's housing stats just came out for Fort Wayne, Indiana and Allen County. Let's see how we finish the year.
Keep it real, I keep it real, I keep it real, just keep it real.
Hey guys, it's Sam Hartman, keeping it real estate here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. As always, I'm trying to bring the context and clarity that you need to be confident real estate consumers. So let's take a look at December's numbers, see how Allen County and Fort Wayne, Indiana areas looked finishing the year compared to past years and where we're at today. First and foremost, the storyline of the year is inventory. We've seen inventory growth all throughout the year. And here in December, we're up 13% year over year and up 33% on the year to date. So we've seen good inventory growth. A good chunk of this is coming from a lower buyer demand. So supply is growing because buyer demand has been lower because of elevated interest rates over the last couple of years. But as of the day of me filming this, I saw the interest rates dip down below 6% for the first time since 2022. And I'm already seeing really good buyer indicators in January as we're starting the new year. So could be some good positive story headlines going into 2026. New listings for the month of December were down 7% compared to last December, but we're actually up 7% year to date. So we're seeing some growth in that inventory from more people selling their home, but the bulk of that inventory growth is coming because homes are sitting on the market longer. So sellers, you need to be prepared that you have more competition out there and your sale is taking longer because of that growth in inventory. Closed sales, we actually saw a 15% increase this December versus last December. That was to be expected. We saw some really good pending sales data in October and November. And so when you see a bump up in pending sales data, that usually takes 30 to 45 days before those homes actually close. And now we're kind of paying the piper here. We're seeing a really good double-digit increase in closed sales in December. But year to date, we're only up 3%. So 2025 was still a pretty reduced year in terms of the total volume of homes that were trading hands between buyers and sellers. So I touched real briefly on those pending contracts, and in December, we're up 2%. So big reduction there. December is a slower market. A lot of people are out writing contracts and offers between the holidays. Although, to be honest, if I were a buyer and I were going to be shopping in 2026, why not start during the holidays? Why not start while the demand is lower, prices come down a little bit, you have more negotiating room during that time. And now here we are already into January and we're already starting to see buyer traffic and demand rise, which is going to start putting upward pressure on prices again. Days on market, this is an interesting one. So in December of 2025, we saw an average of 39 days on market. That's an increase of almost 40% over last December. But our year-to-date average, not average, but median days on market is 16. So again, that has to do with the seasonality. Homes were on the market longer in December because of that seasonality, because of that lower buyer demand in the winter season. But year-to-date, we still saw a good pace of movement of our market. 16 days on market was the median. Now the big one, sale price. Where are we at on prices? And in December, we actually saw a median sale price of $264,000, which is 6% higher than last December year over year. But year to date, we are only up about 2%. So this was a little bit lower than what I projected going into 2025. I thought we'd be in the 4% range. So Fort Wayne is trending right at above, just a little bit above the national average as far as price appreciation, which is great. That's a good thing. There are markets across the U.S. that are losing value right now. Most of those homes are in the Sunbelt states, in Florida, and kind of in the southern region. So here in the Midwest, the Northeast, we don't have nearly as much supply of homes. We have more affordable homes. And so we are still, being pretty average to above average in terms of our price appreciation. Now, last but not least, let's talk about sale price percentage of list price. So you list your home for a certain price. What does it eventually sell at? Now, that number is at 95.2%. That is down 1% from last year. And so sellers need to know, they need to go into their home selling process knowing that the market has changed. And I think I've seen sellers struggle early in 2025, but start to understand throughout 2025 with more time under tension, more time under this kind of new market dynamic, that just is the case. And so ultimately, when a buyer comes to the table, you know, the list price to sale price is coming down a little bit, but we still need to be realistic with our pricing expectations if we want to hit that time of market, that speed of market. We don't want to miss buyers' attention and buyers' eyes because you overshot their expectations or you overshot their price point and their desires. So it's very important to be realistic. We want that condition of your home, the price of your home, and the promotion of your home. We want all three of those things to match and come together to achieve a sale price as close to that 100% of what we're asking as possible. So those are the December numbers for Fort Wayne, Indiana and Allen County. Heading into the new year, if buying or selling a home in the new year is something that's on your resolution list, you know who to reach out to keep it real estate. Thanks for sticking with me today, guys.